the pandemic that's come about has forced higher education institutions, universities, and so on and so forth, everywhere around the world, I would say, to consider ways and means of trying to overcome it and to maintain the norm, as it were, maintain a situation where the students are not essentially left out at sea, as it were. Right? So, and the attempt has been, I feel, at providing online education, and that seems to have become, for some people, I don't like the term, but for some people it's become the new normal. Yeah, that online education is the key. For me, it's a necessary key, a necessary solution for the time being, because there are the facilities there, and therefore there is a need to utilize that. Again, this whole notion about having the facilities there. Online education is fine if you have one, the expertise, but two, more importantly than that, access to that facility. Even students, for example, our students have been sent back home, and they don't have the facilities to access the classes and so on and so forth from home, then it becomes a problem. Yeah, and given that Malaysia is, according to the data that's there, Malaysia does not have that kind of online presence, as it were, in terms of education, that students in primary schools do not have that access to even basic things like a mobile phone. Then it becomes, or a laptop, becomes problematic. So that problem needs to be addressed. That problem needs to be understood. One can't just think that you have the facilities we have, which we might not have. You have the technology, and therefore the technology will resolve everything. This idea, this fetish with technology is problematic. There's this obsession with technology is problematic, I feel. So technology cannot replace everything. But like I said, in the short term, there doesn't seem to be any kind of other option, as it were, so that because it hit us very, very quickly. There was a need to come up with solutions fairly fast. And I think in the Malaysian context, universities decided to come up with the solutions depending on the particular university's concern. And with very little guidance, I hasten to add at the beginning from the ministry concerned. So that's something that we have to look at as well. But yes, in the short term, there is a need to utilize online education. It has been used in many universities, in my university as well. I think quite successfully as well, depending again on what courses we're talking about, what modules, what areas we're talking about. There's all this talk about labs. How are they going to be utilized for lab work? Now, that's in the short run, and it seems to they've managed to do that. For the time being, how well they've managed to do that is yet to be seen. I think there needs to be studies on how well or how badly online teaching has been for universities. In the longer term, there's talk of people the universities wanting to use this in the longer term, that the online education is the way to go forward. You must remember that online education has been around for quite a bit, as not as a substitute, but as a kind of additional facility for students. And for me, to use online to look at online education as a way to go forward, I think it's a bit it's narrow thinking, as it were. Yeah, it indicates for me a lack of understanding of what the university is all about. One of the main things that would be lost with online teaching would be the university experience. Students come into universities for the 5 years, for the 3 years of their lives. There is this notion of the university experience that they can't experience everywhere else. Yeah, they have a safe environment an environment that should nurture thinking, creative thinking, critical thinking. And that's how it's been for many, many universities all around the world. And that has been the function, the purpose of universities, to provide students the environment within which their minds can grow, that they can come up with new thoughts, new ideas, and so on and so forth. And that is something we cannot just substitute by online education. It just does not work, I feel. It cannot work. So that therefore, in the longer term, there is a need to figure out how to combine both the university, as it were, being on the university and being online. Yeah, my stand is that there is a necessity for students to be in that kind of environment. This is a time when they can. It's about socialization. It's about exchanging ideas with other students, with their mentors, and so on and so forth, right? And you just can't do it in the kind of online format, I feel. Yeah, the kind of socialization, the kind of mixing around, the kind of learning, the tutelage you get within the kind of university campus. Yeah, knocking on the doors of professors, and and talking with them rather than switching on Moodle, switching on what's the word, Zoom. It becomes a bit problematic, I feel. Yeah? So no, in the long run, I think we need to figure out other ways, other methods, rather than just going online. I think it's too simple and simplistic a solution that they're thinking about. If they're going to say it's going to be all online, it just technology. We have seen the history of technology, that this whole idea that technology is a magic wand is very much a myth, and it's a myth that will cost us in the long run as a human race. The whole notion of making people more human, and in the kind of university context, students learning more about other things, just more than what they study from their books, through mixing, through socializing, through thinking about society, as it were, within the safety of university campuses, is paramount, is essential for the long term.